Do you want to have a look at a Stargate each before we get on to the individual cards? Yes or no? If that's the case, we're going to have to get you to turn your cameras down once you've laid them out. Give them a really good shuffle and then lay out the Stargate. Has everybody got the Stargate pattern or map close by? Okay, well, there's your money. Okay, there's money for property. Ace of Pentacles, that's what that is. Okay. Real sense of, look at Chariot card, real sense of victory to do with self. There's time sequences, which is 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, or 4 years happening over there to the right of center. Then there's a wish fulfillment happening to do with moving or traveling in the left of center. There's a very interesting doubling up there with the Two of Swords and the High Priestess card, because they're both cards of secrecy or occulting, or things being hidden. So these are deals being done behind closed doors. It's very interesting because the money comes through, and there's also going to be an investment property showing up. I don't know whether you see the sphere of Binah. I've got the 10 of Pentacles in there. We're looking at here at the House of Money. Banks, building societies, financial institutions, etc. It couldn't be a rented or a leased dwelling, or it can be an investment property. Do you get me? So as long as you're aware of that, happens fucking real quick. Knight of Swords is everything happens quick.
That's nice.
Real fortune is really same as to do with your IT. That's not really a problem. That's up there in the sphere of Chokmah, in the sphere of, oh, look at that. Chesed has got the Ace of Wands. It's just really fresh and new and vital. And the interesting thing about when you sell your house and when you move is that you're opening if this is for you, it's hilarious. Have you got your kids living with you time? Because when you move, you'll leave them behind so you can have sex in your house.
I hope so. I think it's every woman's hope, isn't it?
But some people don't. Some people don't want their kids to leave, actually, which is really ridiculous. There's some people who get used to it. But that Two of Cups is your sexual activity, and it's showing up as a high point, but not until the outcome to the events before that.
Yeah, cool.
Very, very lovely. Very lovely map. Photograph of that one with your phone so that you've got that for later. Can you do that?
I will. True. Thank you.
It is so seriously freaky, but it's a completely different story. But again, there's money available to you to do with living environment. And we'll look at that Ace of Pentacles in a minute separately, if we can. But there is overseas travel very definitely. Absolutely with that star card where it is, clear as anything. Yes, there is also a lot of deep inner teachings taking place with that Seven of Wands, because you're not being taught by somebody on the outside, you're being taught from the inside out. That's weirdly enough the way. So your gut is your best teacher. Your gut is going to tell you what you need to know. You're obviously sexually active with a younger person showing up in your future, which is quite fine. Being a Queen of Pentacles as you are, you're at the center of the whole thing. Touche. Pentacles is be involved with two families, and that quite often happens when you have two lots of families through foster care or through marriage or through children or whatever. But it also shows up as being sort of like a part-time connection to family, not a full-time one. It's not a big deal. Definitely sexually active, no doubt about that whatsoever. The Two of Cups on the table. Interesting with the Hangman where it is, because it's basically, it says if you've got any money coming from the government, you're going to lose it because you get the Ace of Pentacles. It also could be very definitely, because I've got the Two of Pentacles there. I'm taking notice of that. I'm not mucking around. That Two of Pentacles and the Death card shows up, so it can be an inheritance where you inherit a house or a property or money from a house or a property or an investment portfolio, very definitely. But what it does is threatens any form of money that's coming to you from a government source. And then that's another story altogether. But again, when we look at the Ten of Pentacles, it falls in the sphere of Chokmah, so it's not the same at all. It's got to do with your House of Money. That's like Etsy, when you're working with a doorway, so the people coming and going through your House of Money is falling in IT. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's really important to be able to sort of like utilize that on many different platforms. Really interesting. Psychic and intuitive factors. That's the face. There's your face with the High Priestess card there. Okay. The other thing which is very important about that Death card falling in the sphere to art is that you finish the things you start. Super important. Okay. And that's worth a photograph as well. Seriously, I'll pin you. All right. Remove pin. Okay, take a photograph of that lot, please.
Thank you.
It's really interesting how the same cards have come up in a variation of the same theme, but they mean very different things. Okay, who else is next up? Stephanie, what's your star sign?
Virgo.
Okay, you're another Earth. You're another Queen of Pentacles or a King of Pentacles, because it can be either. This one's focusing on an air sign: boy, man, boy, man, boy, man, boy, man. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
Yeah.
And I don't like him because I've got nothing but disappointment and manipulation and emotional manipulation going on all around that, and it's causing you some kind of grief. And you get these traps with love.
Yeah.
How do you escape from this and have kids come out unscathed or whatever? It's through negotiation and constantly being aware of that Three of Pentacles. That Three of Pentacles is your central theme, and that Three of Pentacles is discussion, interviews, etc. You cannot handle situations to do with this man on your own. You need to know about that. It's really important that you can trust other people, but it's also really important people involved with family or people involved with him are sneaking around wanting to know your fucking business. And it's really important that you keep yourself to yourself, okay? There is victory showing up in here with the Chariot card very definitely, but this is a situation when I get see how you got the Page and the King?
Yeah.
What they're basically saying is that the adult is a child.
Yeah.
Thing to understand about adult male or female children is that they're still going to chuck tanties. They want things their own way. If you don't give them the lolly that they want, they're going to make you fucking suffer. That's it for sure. Okay. And there is an offer on the table in here, but the offer that's showing up is in what we call the sphere of Hood, which is associated with Mercury and long and short journeys. That's your Four of Cups. And basically in here, I would just be ignoring that because you've got the Eight of Cups opposite, which is your disappointment. Every single time that cup's offered to you, you are disappointed. So it's like every time that the air sign man offers you a lolly, it's going to be poison. It's a poison chalice.
Yeah.
That's why you need to be very, very careful about that situation. But you will be, because you can't lose with that Chariot card. The Chariot card is an earned victory. At the end of a situation of where court is concerned, it turns up when a person has got their PhD. It turns up when somebody has gone to rehab and come out of it nice and clean. It's got all of those things, but it's your victory in this particular instance in difference to your adversary or your enemy, who happens to be the air sign man. We're almost looking good. Oh, isn't that interesting? Did you have the Lovers card and the Six of Cups before?
I did.
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to go straight to Binar, which is associated with Saturn, which can, of course, be to do with institutions, government, hospital, education, or just institutions in general. And there's a real achievement happening for you there.
Right.
So anything that you're studying or anything that you're doing through an institutional body, it's fucking pucker as.
Right.
Opportunities for moving or changing environments is really coming up for you as well. You do have to have some kind of work done. It looks like it's ovarian. Have you got cysts or anything happening around your ovaries or anything problematic associated with your ovaries or your vagina or your cervix or your bowel? Because there's work being done on your lower body.
All right. It's falling out. It's trying to escape.
You having a prolapse there?
Yeah. It's TMI.
That is, so the work being done there means you're either going to get that stitched, which is victorious if you get it stitched. Victory for Victoria. How hilarious is that? But the work that is victorious in this particular instance, and it would be quite a short stay. But this is the opportunity necessary. But the problem that you've got with that Ten of Wands in there is you pick up heavy shit.
Right.
Don't do that.
Okay.
When there's a prolapse of any description, the last thing you do is pick up heavy shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Really important. And again, it's your choice, because it's a funny little story that I've got. I remember somebody making a comment when I was in Byron and I was buck. I was at competition level bodybuilding, and this woman came across from the epicenter when it was still there, and she was saying how people were watching, etc., which kind of creeped me out. And she had this idea in her mind that that somehow doing it all without sharing your life with a man is feminism. I go, can you just fucking go away, please? That's not what feminism is at all. But she came back one day and she said, you would have been proud of me. I said, what are you talking about? Because she moved a fridge into her squat. And as she's moving the fridge, some guy who's also living in the squats asked if she wanted a hand, and she said, I don't need a man's help, thanks very much, fucking go away. And she ended up hurting her back. And it was all through that ridiculous idea that a friend can't help you out. It's just fucking crazy. So when you've got to move big things, just remember that you can go seriously into sciatica, which is what the tower is, nerve damage.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing the tower is a train wreck.
Yeah.
So please be careful with transportation. Okay. I don't know who the two kids are, but they're not problematic. There's a couple of kids there of influence, but they're not problematic. There's one of them fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, could be a child, could be an adult, could be a creative project associated with writing. You know, you've definitely, it's funny living on the island because the Six of Swords is hilarious. I'm so used to the Six of Swords being people going to Europe or South America or whatever, and it's simply just a little it could be going to the mainland or over to Bridie Island. What is it called? That
Bruni.
Bruni Island. It's just like a little trip on water.
Yeah.
Okay, that's there. The tower is interesting also, apart from being a train wreck. I'll explain that one in a minute. It can be fires, particularly falling in the sphere of Hood. All right, so just be aware of what's going on with fire season right now. But main thing for you is that Four of Cups. It says keep your eyes open for that which comes out of left field.
Okay.
Because Four of Cups, you're looking at the Three Cups. You see those looking at the Three Cups down?
Yeah.
And the one coming out of left field is the fourth one, which is really interesting. And it will have to do with moving. Also will have to do particularly, and you will move, and it's not problematic, although moving is always a shit.
Yeah.
But in particular, if you've got a truck or a van or a large vehicle where the motor blows up, sorry about that. But the victory card is assured, so that's for sure. Get that prolapse fixed. In the meantime, I would be doing Kegels if I were you.
Yeah.
You know what Kegels are?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
We talked about the body of Adam Cadmon and how this particular map looks at the health situations, and it's clear as anything. If you're not working as a gynecologist with that Eight of Pentacles sitting there in the sphere of Yesod, which is the lower part of your body around your hips, your genitals, your uterus or your bowel, then you're getting work done there. That's how we read that. That's really fucking good to get that so you can see it yourself.
Yeah. Cool.
Very, very cool. The Four of Cups is also things being offered to you that it's like somebody trying to slip you a Mickey Finn. Be careful of that.
Yeah.
Also. Okay, so what's caused this prolapse? Have you had children?
Yeah. I've got two boys.
They're the two of them right there on the right hand side. You can see the two. And in this the Cups, it says that the prolapse has got to do with the kids. So it's been there a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get it fixed, darling. It's fabulous. Okay, we'll unpin you. Take a photograph of that, please. Get everybody to see that. It's absolutely excellent. I know, right? Now, that's really good to get that and have a look at these so you can see how it's working with the physical stuff. And you've got to be game enough to say it. Because it's interesting. So if you had that work, for example, up in the sphere of Keter, it's me getting Botox around my scar, right? It could be any kind of work that's being done. If you've got problems associated with it, you're going to see them in Hokmah, you're going to see them in Binah, which could be to do with the jaw. You see the problems there. And then you'd see the work being done with that, which could be Ace of Swords, which is needles or whatever else down the line. So it's well worth. Thank you very much for showing us that.
Now you all know me a little better than you did before.
Well, that's the thing about tarot. You can't fucking hide anything. Is there anybody left undone, or am I just kidding?
But go and get that fixed.
Get it fixed. It's fabulous. Okay, Fiona. Totally. Look at the tower up in the sphere of Hokmah. What is that?
No.
Everybody tell me what it is, obviously.
AI? It's not good.
It's a computer crash.
Oh.
Okay, Alex. Okay, the first time I saw that, and it has been when tarot. I did explain that tarot will teach you over and over and over and over again till you get it. The first time I saw that was for a man in Bendigo. And because it's Chokmah, which has got to do, in those days, it wasn't technology. It was just electrical energy, electricity, working with wires, literally power cords, power tools, and so on. And I warned him when I looked at it. I mean, you can't stop it, but I still try and warn people. I was just saying, mate, you've just got to be really careful around electricity. Shit's going to hit the fan. About that is free will, but I don't think you can stop it, but hopefully you can fix it up a little bit. Was chainsawing down the dead trees in his driveway in Bendigo, and one of them fell on the power lines and he blacked out Bendigo. And he had to end up chainsawing the log up really quickly before the authorities found out that it was him. You with me now? In the present era, having to do with technologies, etc. So do be careful of electrical stuff, Fiona, please. Absolutely. But the other thing is back up your data, because next phase of that came towards in the early noughties, when I was reading tarot for a woman, and I said, please back up your data because you're going to lose everything. Your computer's going to crash. But she ran her business from her phone, and she lost her phone the following week, including all her contacts. And she couldn't get it back.
My drive on my computer went a few weeks ago, and I did lose everything. But that's the past.
You'll never get it back, because the Eight of Cups says, oh dear, how sad. Hangman says, give up, stop it, don't do anything about it. Star card says you've got to get another computer or another system, whether you like it or not. That's what the star card is in Binar. And knowing enough about technology or internet to be able to choose correctly which one you do. And when you've got a King of Cups, you've always got a good tech head around you, because the King of Cups, sphere Mars, is a tech head. I've seen it time and time again. They're good techies. The star sign is irrelevant. But look at you, look at the Nine of Wands. I don't want to have to do that right now. I don't want to have to get that fixed up right now. That's almost like I don't need to go and learn all about new stuff. Oh, yes, you fucking do. Absolutely. All right. The Lover's card is really interesting. The Lover's card falling in the sphere of Netzach, which of course is Venus. Love, sexuality, intimacy, eroticism, and so on and so forth. You got two blokes, have you, darling? Or you got a man and a woman? You're having a little threesomes. You're having a little bit of polyamory happening there. Oh, not me, says Fiona. Wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be doing that. Fucking no.
There's nothing happening at the minute.
We shall see. And it's really interesting because I don't have a very comfortable connection with you also need to get your pap smears up to date. Do you know how I can see that? Anybody want to come in with how to get her pap smears up to date? Or she will get her pap smears up to date? No? You can't see it? The Emperor card in the sphere of Yesud. That's going to the doctors with one of your bits, because of your bits. In difference to before, when we saw the situation to do with the prolapse, now we're seeing somebody getting a checkup to do with their lower body. But it's not showing up as the hips, or that it'd fall in the sphere of Hud or Netzach. Okay, the other thing, which is really, really interesting, is there are real problems in your life, Fiona, to do with speaking to people that you're supposed to speak to, because they're not listening. And that may very well be people that you've yet to come across, people in authority figures, what could be the Emperor in this instance, or you don't know how to speak the language. Now, that's that Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, love it. Nine of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, my favorite cards in the pack. That Nine of Wands is really interesting. So, for example, I go to an audiologist to get my hearing checked every now and again, and to get up with the newest technology available to do with sort of in-ear audio work, when I don't have to listen to sort of external things. What I have, and this is in more than one instance. I'll give you a couple of instances where that Nine of Wands is so important. Why am I back on screen? I want to look back at the map. Where'd you go?
I think
Oh.
her internet's dropped out or something.
I think it's got to do with her internet. I shouldn't laugh. But that was the tower in the sphere of Chokhmah. I'll wait and see whether she comes back in again. I'm pretty sure she's going to come back in again with that because it's really important. And it goes straight away the minute because I've trained myself in this, that if I'm not looking at it, it's gone. The knowledge is completely gone of what I was looking at. So I want it back again because there's more. Fiona. Except for me.
It's nice though how the Stargate's so personal, yeah? Like, and the 3 cards we all gave were a bit of a story, but now the in-depthness of the Stargate.
What it looks like to me, it's going very personal, which is really cool to have done that tonight. And I want you to be able to see what I'm seeing and how I see it. Yeah, it's definitely, it'll come real quick.
I'm enjoying like when you say with the spheres and like that pulls up the prolapse, it pulls up go get checked, like, and noting that, yeah, they're in those spheres. That's what it's going to mean. That card with that in that placement, it's great.
You get it. You get real quick when you sort of like the quicker you are at recognizing them. The more says, "Hi, Fiona, we knew you were gone because of your fucking tower in Chokhmah." Can you go back and show us the map, please?
The internet's so crap. Yeah, maybe that's the hot one bit.
You've got all lines, so pretty much. All right. So, what's your star sign, Fiona?
Libra.
Oh, that's you on the left there. Okay, that's you in the sphere of Mercury. So, are you?
I'm here.
Yeah, there's difficulty having communication with people of like mind in there. Probably except online. You need to keep your computer well, and you need internet connections. I'm looking at the Queen of Swords people. I'm looking at the Star card. I'm looking at the Tower. I'm looking at the 8 of Cups, and I'm looking at the Hangman. And then I'm looking at the 9 of Wands. That's how I'm moving around that board that you can see in front of you. And the pack animal, which is the 3 of Cups, that's your coven, so to speak. That's your gang. That's the foundational, the solid place for Fiona to land. Okay, so she's going to have that. But then she's got things to say, or when she wants to say them, she's got to hold them or not say them. It's all that. The Star card releases all that. So if she's got really good internet connection, which is going to just every now and again bomb out, which is the Tower card. And then there's disappointment because you lose friends or you lose emotional connections from there. It's really quite obvious. Yeah, the only weirdness, of course, is the Lovers card. Lovers card in the sphere of Netzach, which is love, sexuality, intimacy, etc. Unless you're having breast augmentation, Fiona, are you having sort of implants, darling?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not implants in there. So it's definitely some form of polyamory. That means that whoever you love could also love somebody else. Or whoever you love could also be more than one person.
Right.
It usually shuts people right up when I say that if they're not used to polyamory.
I was in a relationship for 18 years and I haven't been with anyone.
Well, you haven't got a 2 of Cups. You haven't got a 2 of Cups.
Gonna happen.
Mute yourself, darling. Mute yourself, please.
Mute.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You haven't got a 2 of Cups there. 2 of Cups is your sex card. Okay. 2 of Cups is going to turn up 9 times out of 10 to do with sex, sexuality, intimacy. Somebody asks you a question, says, am I going to have an intimate romantic relationship in the future? You get rid of 6 cards and you lay out the 7th, and it's the 2 of Cups. It's like, fuck yeah. And then I ask the client if I can stop. or if I have to lay out the rest of the cards, because it could tell of the failure of that relationship later on as we progress through those other cards, which is really interesting. But where I come to the fond and little funny idea of polyamory is the Three of Cups with the Lover's card. It can also be your triangular type relationships, and it doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means, Fiona. So we can have very intimate, because there's no Two of Cups. Intimacy is not necessarily sexuality or sex. Intimacy can be the silence and privacy of this room, for example. Intimacy is where you are completely aligned with a specific group or a small area, and you don't share outside. What you share with your counselor is intimacy. What you share with your psychiatrist is intimacy. What your mother shares with you about how long she was in labor, that's intimacy. Do you get it? It's not necessarily about sex, because it's no Two of Cups. In this particular instance, we are looking at the foundation being group activities with the Three of Cups, but the Three of Cups is very, very small groups or tight little groups. Three of Cups is always my coven card, but it's also three people together. Do you get me? And the Three of Cups is not only three people together, but three people together in alliance. Because the thing about those three cups is they're all equal. And that's a really, really powerful thing to have under your belt.